Before I get going here, let me just state for the record that I am a huge fan of the Goot. And yes, while I am keenly aware that it's highly unlikely that anyone close to Steve Guttenberg actually calls him by that particular nickname, nonetheless, I am going to do so. Hi folks, this is pop culture historian Dave Sundstrom. Welcome back to my channel. My history with the Goot goes way back. I can't claim to have seen his guest star appearance in Family or a single episode of his short-lived 1979 CBS television series Billy, but I was there for the train wreck of a movie that was Can't Stop the Music. I've always been a sucker for musicals, and this one, which combined Steve with the Village People, the actor formerly known as Bruce Jenner, and the lovely Valerie Perrine, well, I just knew it was going to be an absolutely beautiful disaster. After that, Steve rebounded with the film Diner. I remember seeing that one in the theater with my buddies. None of them really liked it. Perhaps it was a bit highbrow for our tastes back then. And maybe, just maybe, the Goot knew that. Because Police Academy and its many sequels had absolutely zero aspirations to be anything more than just fun, goofy comedies. And those movies, well, they were guaranteed to please all. From there, Steve starred in hit after hit. There were the Cocoon movies, those 3 Men and a Baby movies, and I can't forget Short Circuit. All big crowd pleasers. And then the Goot made a movie that I just love so darn much. A film that is so fabulous that it is known by 2 different titles. I think the first time that I saw it on HBO, the title was Don't Tell Her It's Me. But I'm pretty darn sure that when I rented it out later on from Blockbuster, it was called The Boyfriend School. Personally, I think that Don't Tell Her It's Me is the better title, but either way, it's the same movie. The cast in the film is really great, and it is a good-natured and very sweet romantic comedy which pairs Steve with the always lovely Jamie Gertz, and also had Shelley Long and Kyle MacLachlan in it. For whatever reason, I look at that movie as a turning point in Steve's career. Although I love it, and I've been told by others that they enjoy it as well, the movie, which is all about a cancer survivor finding love again, was not a big success. In fact, it was both a critical and commercial dud, and after that, it seems like the Goot may have been just content to take whatever role came along. Movies like The Big Green, It Takes Two, and Zeus and Roxanne just don't seem like the ones that Steve should have been starring in. But hey, a guy's got to work, and work he did. And let me just say this, the Goot always gave his all in each of those roles. By the time 2004 rolled around, it wasn't strange at all, I guess, to see Steve starring in one of those holiday TV rom-com movies with Crystal Bernard. That's a plus. And you know what? I'll be darned if the 2 of them didn't pull it off. But I must admit, it was still kinda odd seeing him take roles like that. He had been, after all, one of the most bankable stars of the 80s. But as we all know, Hollywood is a fickle, fickle beast. And Steve, well, I guess it's fair to say that he was less fickle. Over time, it seemed less and less strange to see the Goot guest starring on TV shows like Veronica Mars, Law and Order, and Community. And when Steve showed up in 2016's Sharknado 4, it all started to make sense. This had been the Goot's plan all along. Steve had been less interested in being a huge, shining star that in most cases was bound to flame out, because he had wanted more than anything else to be a Hollywood survivor and to make acting a sustainable career. And sustain he did. By the time Steve started making guest appearances on one of my favorite sitcoms of recent years, The Goldbergs, I had come to the realization that Steve Guttenberg is not only a likable star of both the big and small screen, but he's also a heck of a wily feller. He's also incredibly candid about what it was like to have everyone in Hollywood turn their back on you. In People magazine, he said his publicist described it to him as being sent to the glue factory. Thankfully, our man Steve refused to go. And as it turns out, over time he became more than just an actor, According to his Instagram profile, he's also a writer and a sandwich maker, which I've got to admit is pretty darn impressive. And since having the Goot make me one of his amazing sandwiches is highly unlikely, I guess I'll have to check out Steve's most recent book, Time to Thank, which is actually a tribute to his father, who Steve served as a caregiver for during his final years. Based on the reviews over at Amazon, this appears to be a pretty darn good read. So at this point you might be asking yourself, what is the point of this video? Well, I must admit that I made it for two reasons. The first being that Steve just seems like a really cool guy, and I like to make videos about good people doing good things. The other is that more people need to see Don't Tell Her It's Me. Oops, I mean The Boyfriend School. And at the time of publishing this video, it's available to watch on Tubi. 100% free of charge, if you don't mind watching a handful of commercials. Speaking of commercials, I've got a really cool one from the late 70s with the Goot in it, and another actor who went on to achieve quite a bit of fame as well. Let me know in the comments section if you recognize her.
Hallå, stanna! Det är en timme alltså.
Looks like you need some help, huh? Do you speak any English?
Nej, svenska. Men titta, om du vet med några...
How about a Coke?
Coke?
Drink.
Vad är det för något?
Coke!
Coca-Cola!
Well, where to?
Oh, just down to the next gas station.
What do you do when the girl you love
You're never going to get her to go out with you.
I'm having some oral surgery done.
is in love with somebody else?
Emily was the best thing that ever happened to me.
Get discouraged?
She's going to get married, Gus, if we don't act fast.
Give up? Or listen to your big sister?
I can make Emily fall in love with you.
Because with a little help,
Making love is like building a barbecue fire.
a little sweat,
What we're going to need is instant devastation.
and a lot of hair,
Yes!
you can win the girl you love over. If you're Lobo, the hunter,
I don't know your name.
Lobo Marunga.
Lobo Marunga.
Lobo, is it?
I have to tell her.
Shelley Long of Outrageous Fortune, Steve Guttenberg of Cocoon and Three Men and a Little Lady, Kyle MacLachlan of Twin Peaks, and Jamie Gertz of Less Than Zero.
I think I love you.
Don't tell her it's me.
All right, 2 points for the Gus Buster.
Don't tell her it's me. The first of our Crowd Pleasers program.